I was genuinely surprised to discover that many people are still going for the Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus in 2025, a 7-year-old, almost 8 years old Samsung flagship that is long past its prime. I couldn't help it but wonder why people are still making this choice. The logic is clear. It is about paying budget level prices for what was once flagship level performance. Old flagship phones can be fantastic, but when they are too old, the story changes. In 2025, Galaxy S9 Plus is no longer the powerhouse it once was. To verify this, I borrowed one from my friend and ran it through all the usual checks we perform on smartphones. My goal was simple: find out if it's still truly usable in 2025 and understand why it continued to attract buyers. And maybe we might find a reason to consider it in 2025. I have to admit, the build quality of the Galaxy S9 Plus still holds up impressively well in 2025. We've seen countless flagship and budget phones over the years, yet some budget and even mid-range phones today still don't match the S9 Plus in terms of craftsmanship. It features Gorilla Glass 5 both on the front and the back, a slightly curved glass panel at the rear, and a curved display up front. On the back, you find two camera lenses, a rear-mounted fingerprint sensor, fingerprint scanner, an LED flash, and even a heart rate sensor positioned below the LED. The front showcases the same Gorilla Glass 5 curved display, flanked by noticeable thick bezels housing sensors and lenses at the top. Clean bezels that are very thick at the bottom too. With an IP68 rating for dust and water resistant, the S9 Plus build quality is something I can confidently say that it surpasses many budget phones or even some mid-range phones in 2025. S9 Plus design is undeniably outdated in 2025. These days, almost every brand have moved to U-notch, teardrop, or punch hole display. So seeing these thick bezels feels like stepping back in time. Rear-mounted fingerprint sensor have also disappeared from the scene. Most brands now use side-mounted or under-display fingerprint sensor, even on budget models. Overall, the design shows its age, and of course, design is subjective. Some people might still appreciate its classic look, but by modern standard, it is definitely from another era. The build quality alone isn't enough to convince me that it is the main reason people are still buying this phone. Most of them don't even know the exact material used, but when we factor in display, then I can start to see the appeal. The S9 Plus features a 6.2 inches Super AMOLED display with a sharp 1440p resolution, something we don't really see from Samsung anymore, especially in their mid-range and budget lines, even their regular flagship models. The colors are incredibly vibrant, reds look deep and rich, blacks are perfectly inky, and the overall punchiness is on another level. Back then, Samsung really went all out on display, and in some ways, the newer screen feel a bit toned down compared to what the S9 Plus delivered. Yes, it is a 60Hz panel, but that's not really a big deal. It still feels responsive and smooth, and the visual quality makes up for it. That said, the display does show its age in a couple of ways as well. Brightness has noticeably dropped over time compared to the modern standard, where budget phones are bright and they offer 120Hz refresh rate. It feels a bit behind. Despite these shortcomings, the S9 Plus display remained impressive in 2025 with its rich, deep blacks and sharp 1440p resolution, making it a pleasure to look at. Galaxy S9 Plus is no longer supported when it comes to software. The last Android version it received was Android 10, while we are now on Android 15, moving to Android 16. Android 16 is already rolling out. It's stuck on One UI 2.5, while we are currently on One UI 7, heading toward One UI 8. Which is already available on newer devices. Without updates, your phone is vulnerable to bugs, security exploits, and potential hacks. I've had personal experience with this kind of risks. If you've seen my video about the Galaxy Note 9, you remember how it erased itself without my permission. I will leave the link in the description if you want to watch that video. Even if your phone is not running the very latest software, it shouldn't be this far behind. Being on Android 10 in 2025 is extreme. Even if your device can't get Android 16, it should at least be on Android 13 or 14 to still feel reasonable current. Almost every app on the Google Play Store still works on the S9 Plus. I searched some big names like Call of Duty Mobile, eFootball. They can be installed and run just fine. But there are certain apps you simply won't be able to use with Android 10, and you might not realize it until the day you actually need them. Some might assume that the S9 Plus still outperform newer budget phones, and in certain cases, they are right. It runs on the Snapdragon 845, which was a flagship powerhouse back in the day. However, when I compare it with some of the latest budget processors like MediaTek Helio G100, I'd still pick the new chip. Why? The thermal management, of course. Helio G100 might not push ultra high graphics like the Snapdragon 845, but it's still cool and efficient. On Galaxy S9 Plus, you can run Call of Duty Mobile at highest setting, but the heat buildup is real. Heat eventually drain and degrade the battery. With the newer budget MediaTek chip, you might be limited to medium setting, but you can game for hours without overheating or worrying about long-term battery damage. Performance is still one of the Galaxy S9 Plus strong points. There is no doubt about that. The challenge comes with new apps that aren't fully optimized for this old chipset. They can cause the phone to overheat, and that heat not only affects performance but also puts long-term strain in the battery that is gone already. And as a matter of fact, many people are going for the 4GB by 64GB storage variant, which won't take you very far in 2025. That amount of storage fills up quickly with today's apps, photos, and video. There are larger options, the 128GB and 256GB version with 6GB of RAM, which are more manageable for modern use. One positive here is the presence of a micro SD card slot, something that is almost extinct in 2025. Being able to expand your storage is a big plus, especially for people who keep a lot of media or file on their device. The camera is another big area we need to talk about. On the front, the Galaxy S9 Plus has an 8-megapixel selfie sensor, and honestly, this front camera is gone. The photo I took with it look exactly like they came from a 2018 smartphone, which of course they did. The quality just isn't there. Details are soft, colors are off, low light shots are terrible. Even the video from this front camera is underwhelming. Anything coming out of this 8-megapixel in 2025 just isn't up to standard. The rear camera though is holding up a little better. Videos from the main camera still looks fairly stable and colorful, and while it is not amazing by today's standard, it is at least usable. The 12-megapixel rear sensor produced photos that are clearly better than what the front camera delivers, but they still fall short compared to what we get from modern budget phones. If you are choosing the Galaxy S9 Plus in 2025, it definitely can be because of the camera. Even the entry-level device today offer better image quality, especially in low light. Battery is another dead part of this phone. With just 3500 mAh power cell by today's standard, are you really planning to carry a power bank around all day? It is simply not enough, especially when most budget phones in 2025 packs 5000 mAh batteries and more that can easily last the whole day. If you are set on spending your money, don't waste it on the aging Samsung flagship like Galaxy S9 or S9 Plus. You can get far better daily usability from new budget phones such as the Tecno Spark 40 or Infinix Hot 60i. They come with bigger battery, updated software, and all accessories, including a charger right in the box. If you are going for an old flagship, make sure it is the one that holds up well across the board. The S9 Plus isn't just that phone anymore. I know some of you have something to say, so you can put it down in the comment section below. Some people are not going to agree with me, I know. If you have any question regarding this phone, the phone is still with me, so put it down in the comment section below. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Then we catch you in the next one. Peace.